Happy holidays! I hope that those of you who celebrate had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know it was a little different this year. As for me, I got to stuff my face with mashed potatoes, and my sister and I even got to have a virtual game night with our cousins. So, as far as Thanksgivings go, it was pretty good. Now that it is officially over, however, it is time to celebrate the winter holidays. And, to be fair, I have actually been celebrating Christmas since November 1st. And, on the one hand, I think it's a little weird to think about because I feel like this time last year, like it was around Christmas time when we were first hearing reports of, this new coronavirus. It sounds a little scary. And now it's a whole year later and it's still really scary. But even though Christmas, like Thanksgiving, is going to be different this year, I still want to try to make the most of it. And that is why I would like to do something special for all of you. I don't know how many of y'all celebrate the season of Advent, but for those of you who may not be familiar with it, it is the season in the church year that we are preparing and celebrating the the future birth of Christ. That sounds so weird. So we're basically preparing for the birth of Christ, aka Christmas, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. It's the season leading up to Jesus' birth. And a lot of us growing up would have Advent trees where every single morning we would wake up to find a new little ornament and we'd hang it on the tree. Now, in the church, we mostly celebrate on Sundays. There are 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas Day, and every single Sunday we'd light a candle. So you got it. It's for kids. It's kind of like, ooh, what surprise am I getting today? In the church, it's, oh, hey, we're gonna light a candle and we're going to appreciate the coming birth, I guess. The impending arrival? That sounds weird. I don't know. So basically, you get it though. It's basically a gift a day counting down until Christmas Eve. And so I was talking to my sister and she's like, you should do something like that with your books or with your Redbubble merchandise. And I thought, that's actually a really good idea. So tomorrow is the first Sunday and the very first day of Advent. And so every single day from tomorrow leading up to Christmas Eve, I am going to be giving away something usually pretty small. Because I mean, like, those are the kids who did the Advent calendars growing up. I remember I had one and I'd open the little door and there would be like a tiny little bicycle or a tiny little stocking, and it was so cute. They really weren't much, but it was always fun. It was just something fun to celebrate the holidays. And so, but since Sundays are kind of like the big important days where we light candles as well, I was thinking I would give away something a little bigger on Sundays. And then for instance, tomorrow, okay, I'm not going to tell you which one, but tomorrow for the very first day of my Advent giveaway, I'm going to be giving away a signed book. And I'm thinking that'll be what the Sundays are. They're going to be signed books. But for the weekdays, it'll be something like a button or a sticker or even a Kindle book. So be on the lookout in order to, I guess, win a little Advent prize or an Advent gift. You're going to have to follow me on Instagram because it's only going to be through Instagram. It's not going to be through YouTube because I think it's still very apparent that I am not good at YouTube, guys. This is so hard. This has been the thing that this year I have gone way outside of my comfort zone for, is recording myself and putting it up on YouTube because I am a very awkward person. And in person, like, I guess when you meet me at Comic Cons, I can sometimes pass as charming, but for the most part, I'm just so awkward. and and I actually get very nervous filming myself, which is why I always wear like a little hat, because I'm like, oh, if I come off as silly, it's on purpose, because look, I have this giant peppermint on my head. I'm supposed to be silly and awkward. But anyway, but the point of all this is, follow me on Instagram. I will post the link down below as usual, and tomorrow I will be giving away a signed book, and of course I will explain it all in the post. I will list the rules for the giveaway. I think it's going to be the same as my other. Oh, and I'm also going to be doing a big giveaway amidst all of this, but I have to get the second book in my royal romance out first. That's my big. Now that Thanksgiving's over, now that I have baked 52 cookies for just 4 people, guys. For me, my sister, and we gave some to our parents too. Yeah, 52 cookies. I did that. But now that all of that is done, I can finally focus on getting this next book out. So I will be doing the one thing a day giveaway for Advent, and then I will be doing a Once Upon a Midnight Clear / Once Upon a Times Square giveaway. And I already posted it. I already have something for the giveaway. It's a tiara, and it's so pretty, and I kind of want to keep it, even though I already own 2 tiaras of my own. No, I'm so excited about that giveaway. But that's something completely different, and I will make another video announcing that. Hopefully it's a lot more professional than this one is. This one's just me rambling. I honestly think I'm still in like a carb coma because I eat so many mashed potatoes and so much stuffing. And I've kind of just been watching like The Princess Switch 2 non-stop, so my brain is all like, oh, Kevin's so dreamy. Do I have to work? Do I have to film a video? Do I have to do this? But no, I'm very excited. It's gonna be great. And so yeah, the whole point of that was follow me on Instagram, and I will announce the rules. It is not limited to people in the United States. You can enter from anywhere in the world. The only catch is going to be on days that I do the Kindle book giveaways. For some reason, Amazon only lets you gift Kindle books within your country. So unfortunately, those will just be for those living in the United States. That's a bummer. Unfortunately, it's beyond my control, and I'm sorry for that. I have actually complained to Amazon multiple times about, hey, you should really let me gift Kindle books to my friends in different countries. And they're just like, oh, sorry, it's hard. And I'm like, why is it so hard? It's an electronic file. We can email. I don't get it, guys. Struggle bus. Anyway, so, unfortunately, those days will just be limited to those of y'all living in the United States. But other than that, it's open to everyone. You do not have to celebrate Christmas or Advent. You don't have to celebrate anything. This giveaway is open to everyone. And yeah, I'm really excited to share the first giveaway with y'all tomorrow. And sorry about that. I've been talking too much. My throat is raw. Yeah, I think that's about it on the giveaway. I hope it's fun. I hope y'all enjoy it. I guess now's the time to plug Trashy Suspense novel again. It's been doing well. I'm very, very happy. I think I'll probably read y'all chapter 3. Otherwise, this is going to be a very short video. If y'all have read Trashy Suspense novel, or if you've read any of my books, actually, one of the best presents you can get an author, or you can give to an author, is just to leave a review. It doesn't have to be long at all. It can be just, I love this book. It was great. That's literally all you need to write. But reviews are so, so important to authors. So if you've read Trashy Suspense, if you've read any of my books, actually, please consider leaving me a review. I would very, very much appreciate it. So yeah, that's really all I've got. I just really wanted to tell you all about the Advent calendar giveaway, and yeah, let's do another read along for Trashy Suspense novel. I think we were on chapter 3. This is actually my sister's copy of the book. It's the only copy I have left. I have sent all the other books out. If you'd like a signed copy of any of the books, reach out to me through my email, or just reach out to me on any of the social media sites. I'm sure we could work something out. I do have a PayPal, so yeah, we could talk about that. Yeah, this is my sister's copy, so she has like a little bookmark. But let's see. Oh, that's chapter 4. Where is this? Okay, chapter 3 of Trashy Suspense novel. If you remember, Eloise runs a bookstore. Daniel, who is the nephew of her good friend Hetty, has just moved to town. He is an author, and again, in my head, he looks like, I think he's handsome. He looks like Hopper from Stranger Things, or Richard Armitage, you know, whoever you want him to look like. And, yeah, so chapter 3 of Trashy Suspense novel. Here we go. Oh, and there's a monster, remember. There is a monster that is running around this small North Carolina town. It's been a while since I've talked about Trashy Suspense novel to anyone, really. I've been really focused on the new Once Upon a Times Square, so getting back into talking about Trashy Suspense novel. But remember, they live in a small town, and there's a monster called the Bogman running around. So, chapter 3. Hey, Blythe, can you keep an eye on things up here? I have to run to the Baptist real quick. It's only the second day of the new semester, and I've already had 4 phone calls from frantic parents asking if I have any copies of Mythology by Edith Hamilton. I was able to track down books for the first 3, but number 4 is proving to be something of a challenge, though there's always a chance that I have a few extra copies stashed back in inventory. Sure thing, honey. So far this morning, we've had 5 customers. 3 of them were tourists. One was a young lady who often comes in on Tuesdays hoping to get her hands on new releases. And one man just came in to wander. Alas, there's been no hide nor hair of Daniel Brunsworth. I can't say I'm all that surprised. It was all Hetty's idea that he should set up shop here anyway. He probably only stopped by yesterday as a favor to her. Like I told my mom, I'm sure I'll still see him around town. And I really would like to. I'd like to keep up with how he and his daughter are faring here. Right now, however, I have more pressing matters at hand, namely finding a 4th copy of Edith Hamilton's Mythology. And finally, after searching every shelf and rummaging through every box, I do. It's tattered and water-stained, but it's intact and readable. Emerging from the storage room, I hold the book high over my head and march triumphantly back to the front of the store. Ha! Victory! I exclaim. My world comes to a screeching halt, however, when I find myself face to face, not with Blythe, but with a towering and rugged wordsmith. Daniel Brunsworth has returned, armed with a black backpack and a to-go cup from the coffee shop next door, and he's watching me with mild surprise and, dare I say it, amusement. Oh, hello, I greet him, desperately trying to salvage what little remains of my dignity. Having a good morning? He asks lightly. Yes, thank you. I clear my throat and set the worn and weathered copy of Mythology down behind the cash register. How are you? Doing good. Or doing okay. I thought I might take you up on your offer to get some writing done here. Well, that's great. And unexpected, though not unwelcome. Come with me and I'll help you settle in. He follows me into the reading lounge and selects the armchair closest to the fireplace, which is still dark. Sorry it's a little cold in here. I apologize. We've been busy this morning. That's not a bad thing, he says, unzipping his backpack and pulling out a laptop computer. True, I acknowledge. So how did your daughter... I'm sorry, what did you say her name was? Addie, short for Adelaide. That's beautiful. Thanks. So how did Addie enjoy her first day of school? I think she liked it okay. She said her teacher was nice and she's excited about her art class. I can tell she still misses her friends back home, though. Oh, of course, I say, kneeling down to collect a couple of logs for the fire. If you don't mind me asking, where did you move from? I was actually up in New York, but Addie lived with her mom out in California. Lived with her mom in California, out in Irvine. After the accident, I moved out there to settle a few things, and to let Addie finish out the first half of the school year in an environment she knew. She's lucky to have you. No, I'm the lucky one. I should have known he'd feel that way. It's the same way I feel about Isaac. Once I've got the fire lit, I slip out of the lounge, leaving Daniel to work in peace. I need to get to work myself. I have a sneaking suspicion I'll be scrounging the back alley bookstores of Cedar Ridge for a few more copies of mythology before the day is done. Might as well get a head start. About 30 minutes into my crusade, the shopkeeper's bell rings and Hetty's wife, Teresa Haddock, steps in. She's accompanied by an older man dressed in an oversized brown coat who peers around my bookstore with wild, unfocused eyes. Floyd Wayland. And if you remember, Floyd Wayland is kind of like the town crazy guy who absolutely 100% believes in this monster that runs around. I try to suppress a grimace. Teresa doesn't seem to notice. Hello, Elsie! For reasons I've yet to figure out, Teresa only ever calls me Elsie. I've corrected her. Several times, in fact. But to no avail. To Teresa, I am, and apparently will forever be, Elsie. Good morning, Teresa, I greet her. Hi there, Mr. Whalen. How are you doing today? Swell as you can expect, all things considerin', he grumbles without meeting my eye. I am not about to ask him what he means by that. Asking Floyd to elaborate is a mistake you make only once. Or you only make once. Floyd is thinking of writing a book, Teresa informs me. Is that right? I ask. Teresa is a sweet woman, wild and bohemian. She's the kind of person who wears scarves even when it isn't cold outside, and always smells of incense and eucalyptus oil. She wears about 12 earrings in each ear, has an elephant tattoo, and I've never once known her to leave her house without at least 3 decks of tarot cards. She also happens to have a soft spot for the downtrodden and the doomsayers. That's why we're here. I want him to meet Danny, Teresa explains. Oh. It's all I can say as I very seriously consider how tricky it would be to help Daniel escape out the store's back exit without anyone noticing. Alas, Daniel must have heard Teresa's voice because he emerges from the lounge mere moments later. Hey, Teresa, he smiles. Hello, Danny. Although I get the impression that Daniel is very much not a hugger, Teresa throws her arms around his neck and holds him fast, just like an aunt seeking to comfort a frightened child. How are you today? I'm great. Your aura suggests otherwise. Daniel narrows his eyes and casts me a stealthy sidelong glance. Yeah, I'll have to work on that, he remarks. So what brings you by? I want to introduce you to someone, Teresa beams, taking Floyd gently by the elbow and presenting him to her nephew. This is Floyd Whalen. He lives down at the far end of Hermitage Lane. He's retired now, but he worked in the lumber industry for over 40 years, and he has an extraordinary story. Oh yeah? Daniel asks lightly. He knows where this is going. Cocking his head slightly to the side, Floyd looks Daniel up and down with those pale eyes. Then he takes a tentative step forward. Have you heard of the beast, young man? The beast? Daniel asks. The beast of Boggs Creek, tall as 2 grizzlies, russet fur matted with mud and blood, long glistening fangs, and a pig snout as ugly as anything you'll ever see. Oh, but his eyes. You never forget the sight of them golden yellow eyes. Is that right? Daniel asks, clearly caught off guard. And understandably so. And this monster lives here? That's right here in Cedar Ridge. Dwells deep down in the darkest neck of the woods. But every once in a while, it makes its way into town, or finds itself wandering along the highway. There are quite a few in town who've seen him, Teresa adds. Hetty, of course, thinks it's all nonsense. But since you love a good horror story, Danny, I thought that Floyd's testimony might interest you. Yeah, it sure does, Daniel finally musters, forcing his face into something that remotely passes for a look of sincerity. I've seen it, you know, Floyd mutters gruffly, almost as though he's sharing a secret. Came after me one night, swiped me right up off the ground, dragged me to the edge of the woods, and left me for dead. Woke up in the hospital a few hours later. Couple of hunters found me, about to bleed to death, and called an ambulance. I wasn't supposed to make it, but 7 years later, here I am. Wow, Daniel remarks. That is quite a story. Isn't it? I was meditating on his testimony earlier this week, and I got to thinking about how wonderful it would be to take that experience and turn it into something that he can share with the world. Like a book. Teresa smiles brightly at her nephew. Yeah, that would be great, Daniel says, running a hand through his hair. I could probably give you the names of a couple of people who might be able to help you get started. Well, what about you? Teresa asks. Daniel grimaces. Gee, Teresa, you know I would love to, but now just really isn't a good time, he claims. I mean, I've got 2 deadlines of my own I've got to meet. Addie's still getting settled in at her new school, and with all those boxes we still haven't unpacked, I'm sorry, I just can't. Oh, that's all right, dear. Of course I understand. As a matter of fact, I have something that just might help you, and Addie. As she speaks, Teresa reaches into her pouch and pulls out 3 stones. 1 blue and marbled, 1 green and earthy, and 1 pale pink and shiny. A quartz of some kind. This is a blue apatite, she explains, holding up the first stone. It's a stone of manifestation. It helps to clear confusion and negativity while nurturing your ability to achieve your goals. Then this green one is called Chrysoprase. Oh no, I've never actually said these names out loud. I have no idea how to pronounce these. This is actually the first paragraph of this book that I ever wrote back in like draft number 1. I really wanted Daniel to have someone in his life who was, because I have so many friends who are very much into like Reiki and into crystals, and I'll be honest, I'm not very much into the holistic scene, but I love my friends who are, so I kind of wanted to include them in a character, and that's where that's how Teresa came to be. And this is the first paragraph I wrote it for. I wanted her to be giving Daniel these stones, and when I was researching the stones on Google, I didn't stop to think about how I don't know how to pronounce these. So we're going to pretend it's called Chrysoprase? Okay. This green one is called Chrysoprase. I don't know. It's a healing stone, and it's also known for restoring hope in a hopeless heart. And see, I thought these were all cool. I thought these were like really neat, like what these are supposed to do. But again, don't know how to pronounce it. And this, she picks up the pink stone, is actually my very favorite, rose quartz. It's the stone of love and compassion. Daniel must be used to receiving healing stones from his aunt because he accepts her gifts with a gracious smile. Thanks, Teresa. This means a lot. You're welcome. I know that you're not really into all this, which is funny to me since you're an artist and an Aquarius. At that, Daniel raises a skeptical eyebrow. But I think in times of change, even the smallest act of kindness goes a long way. And you're right. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. And I know Addie will too. Well, I guess we'd better be on our way. I have a Reiki class beginning in about 30 minutes, Teresa says, glancing around for Floyd, who's wandered off and is poking around the new releases. And Danny, remember, if you ever need someone to watch Addie, or if you're interested in a healing session, or even if you just want a nice home-cooked meal, you call us right up. We're here for you. I know, and thank you. Teresa engulfs Daniel in one last nurturing hug before she turns back to me. Thank you so much for giving our Danny a place to write, Elsie. Oh, it's my pleasure, I assure her. You take good care of him, and take care of yourself. There are some very big changes headed your way. You need to be ready. I blink, not entirely sure what she means by that. She must not foresee anything too concerning, however, because instead of elaborating, she flashes a bright, sunny smile and says, Love and light! Let's go, Floyd! Floyd turns to obey, but before he leaves, he takes one last look at Daniel. That beast is out there. You mark my words, he grumbles. Then he follows Teresa out the door. Daniel is the first to break the silence. Well, that was unusual. That was Floyd. Is there any substance to everything he was talking about? That depends on who you ask, I reply. There are others who claim to have seen it, whatever it is, but he's the only one who's ever supposedly come in contact with it. So what is it? A lot of people think it's a monster of some sort. You know, like Bigfoot or the Mothman. But there are a few skeptics out there who are convinced that it's just an ordinary animal, maybe a bear or a large deer. There's also the theory that it might be human, even though all the eyewitnesses swear that it isn't. What do you think? I think I'd rather we were just known for the ski resort, I answer. You don't like the idea of monsters in the woods? I don't like the idea of monsters anywhere, I reply. Why not? I take a moment to formulate my answer. Because there's enough uncertainty in the world without having to wonder whether there's something supernatural crawling around my backyard. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and guess you're not much of a horror fan. Not even a little bit. Daniel smirks then, and suddenly I remember what Charissa said earlier. Why she brought Floyd to meet him in the first place. Daniel loves a good horror story. Oh no, I groan. You write horror, don't you? Yeah, kinda, he admits with a laugh. I am so sorry. Why are you apologizing? Because I feel like I just insulted your passion. Horror is hardly my passion, Daniel says. It just happens to pay the bills. Still, I'm sorry, I don't appreciate it. I won't hold it against you, Daniel assures me. Thank you, I smile sheepishly. When I was a kid, I didn't have I won't say I had a speech impediment, but I couldn't say shh. And I find myself still, at age 32, tripping up over words like sheepishly. Thank you, I smile sheepishly. He observes me for one more brief moment. Then, with the slightest hint of a smile, he turns and retreats back into the lounge. So yeah, Trashy suspense novel is available on Amazon. I know it's Small Business Saturday and I'm promoting on Amazon, but indie authors, we're a small business, but we kind of depend on Amazon for our sales, so please don't forget us this holiday season. You can find Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, and remember to follow me on Instagram for the Advent Calendar giveaway starting tomorrow. I'm very excited. I can't wait. And wishing you all the best as we go into December.